within a team and as a unit. I actually want to start this one off with Snipe Drone. I've been hyping him up pretty much ever since these new settings were announced. I said Snipe Drone is going to be one of the guys to watch. I said it on the Beyond forums. I said it pretty much to anyone who would listen. This guy is a changed man. He's a different beast now on these new settings.
I do remember a long time ago when we were talking about it and said, how do we think all these settings are going to play out? How do we think teams will be? Cristóla down the kill feed. Straight off the bat with a double kill and Snipe Drone, the man we are chatting about right on your screens with the overshield, will take down on Pit. But we both can't, well, I'm going to give you the credit here, Harry. What's steal your limelight? You did turn around and you said, Snipe Drone, he is now going to be the player that we used to know. He's going to be the player when we saw him on Epsilon with Jimbo, working as that duo, working together, and being pretty much that old team that we saw before, because they have been, you know, back a year ago, they were destroying everybody with the Buck Brothers.
Yeah, they were, and a lot of the reason people are hyping Snipe Drone on these new settings is that anyone who's competed against Snipe Drone on old Halos without radar, without automatic weapons, knows this man, honestly, he's a real thorn in the side. I mean, you constantly have to worry about him flanking and shooting you in the backside and shooting you from the side. But as we're saying this, though, it looks like Supremacy actually having a lot of control and a lot of success so far in this game. We see Punisher there taking down Cristóla quite easily. We'll swap over to the Supremacy side with SLG, the team captain. But so far, look at the score. It was actually Supremacy to get total control off the start despite not getting the overshield. And now they have a 15, make it a 16-point lead to their favor at the moment.
Which is pretty surprising because they didn't get the first OS. They went 3 down straight away pretty much off the bat. They flipped this completely on its head. They're putting the real pressure on Invictus here. You saw the triple cap at the start. Once again, we're going to see Fragger push in. He's got a teammate there. Nobody's over at blue. I think we've just seen a player actually finally land inside blue. So now we'll see Invictus make some work on it, but I'll tell you what, Supremacy, great start from them.
Yeah, great start from Supremacy, and the man we're on board with at the moment is a player that a lot of people wondered, is this man going to be any good without that automatic weapon in his back pocket? And in my opinion, if anything, I think Fragger's actually got a little bit better without the assault rifle in his possession. He's become a real star player, more consistent, definitely a more consistent Fragger for Supremacy, and he's been putting up stats in online scrims as well. At the moment, we're seeing the odd poor decision from Supremacy players trying to desperate the pit. You can see it's contested at the moment. Good double there from Fragger, though. This is what we're talking about. This man's become a real beast, making clutch plays for Supremacy when it matters.
And one thing we need to know on as well, Harry, which we haven't even touched on whatsoever, last night we actually had what's been denoted as the heavy aim patch. That has landed, so really this is the first time we're seeing it in competition level play, and now we really get to see who's good with that Magnum, who's good with these precision weapons, who can pick up that DMR and just drill the other team from across the map, land every shot, and just really make them bleed. At the moment, 9 points to 44. Wow. Supremacy. The French gods, they are in the driving seat.
They most certainly are. And what's very worrying here for the Invictus squad is the fact that they're getting outslayed by Supremacy, and Fragger, again, picking up another kill there on Snipe Drone. Snipe Drone, a player we mentioned to watch for. He's really nullifying the threat here from Invictus. Snipe Drone definitely the point man for them, but so far it's Fragger winning most of the individual duels where he needs to, so just watch for that going forward. Snipe Drone certainly not firing as much as we'd expect him to so far in this game, and Fragger again picking up another key kill on a player trying to get the pit right there. This man, in my opinion, is probably one of the best players for Supremacy right now.
Can we just appreciate his little rotation, how he moved from one base over to tower so he could get the angle on the player downstairs in the pit. This will be a big kill if he can get it. Thankfully, a big kill though, at least for Cristóla, stops them getting that plot, so now they can at least pull it one back, which they do. Ramirez with a cracking double, was going for the barrels, didn't get it down in time, so that player will stay alive. Cristóla now, DMR in hand, looking for these two players. You can see him on the outlines, Harry.
Yeah, well, that key kill, honestly, from Ramirez was so important because Supremacy were kind of shaping up like they wanted to retake the pit. They allowed Invictus to just grab that, but it looked like they wanted to play retake on that. Ramirez grabbing that key kill on Punisher really just nullified the threat once again from Supremacy. So very nice stuff there from Ramirez, picking up a key kill, and Solar here able to stay alive is very interesting. The fact that he hasn't been picked up yet, but again, it seems to be, at the moment, they are just kind of desperating around this pit area. You see two players being caught off guard. Fragger needs to win this fight versus Jimbo, and he does. That means the pit is still going in favor of Supremacy right here, and it's actually reset there. Double kill from Snipe Drone, very nice from him, and Cristóla actually the last alive right here. So Supremacy actually, if they're quick on this pit, they could maybe even steal this away from Invictus right here, but instead, looks like they're going to go for some turbine control, and as a result, it looks like SLG has the overshield.
I like the play though. Move outside, defend your base, tag it up, and now he can rotate behind them because, well, we can see that. No doubt, you can see on Rommy's screen there, that's going to be Punisher above him, calling out that one player, Snipe Drone and Cristóla. They take down two. we'll see Solar. He'll also pick one up himself, but SLG just playing the numbers game. He knows his team's down. He knows he needs to stay alive, and especially when you got an OS like this, fair enough, you want to make a use of it. You don't want to get stuck in. But why bother when you've got so many dead in your team? You're going to get it wiped off your back.
Yeah, I like the phrase you use, actually, the numbers game. One thing you'll see about Empire Strongholds especially is you want to keep an eye on that kill feed and see where the numbers are. I mean, if you have numbers, obviously you want to start flooding towards Strongholds as soon as possible and try and make that numbers advantage count as much as possible. Invictus at the moment, they're clawing themselves just about back into this game by trading kills with Supremacy, but you can see Cristola opening up the scoring right there by taking down SLG, but a very, very key kill there from Solar, trading that one off means the numbers advantage for Invictus only lasts for a couple of seconds, so that's very important in terms of maintaining a lead. Although Invictus have had control for a long, long time, it's Invictus with 3 down right now, and as a result, it looks like Supremacy are going to grab red base as well as that pit, so very well done from them, being very patient and not overextending.
That really went in the favour of Supremacy there. How they pushed together, they pretty much just collapsed in. You saw Solar come from behind when you were looking on the player outlines. It was just a flood. They all came across from down on this turbine side, 3 members, one directly after the other, over on the side of Invictus. They all just dropped, which has now put them back in the lead again with this double cap. But once again, they're not managing to keep out of it for long enough.
Yeah, just a really minute play there from Snydrone. I actually want to give a lot of credit for. He saw his teammates grabbing the pit. He saw there wasn't really too much pressure on them. And this is kind of what we were talking about. If Snydrone gets that kill, that would be huge, but that's what I was talking about. He kind of pushed into the base where Supremacy players didn't really expect him to be, and that's the kind of flanking ability that Snydrone really brings to this team now that the radar is kind of out of the equation. It allows him so much more freedom. Overshield going into the hands of Ramirez is going to allow Invictus maybe to take back this pit. Ramirez with 2. Looks like he could get 3. This is for the overkill. Can't quite make it happen, though. SLG, the last alive. Fragger here coming off the respawn, but looks like Pit's going to go back into Invictus's hands, and so far, Invictus have actually done a very good job of getting themselves back into this game. If Fragger can grab this camouflage and start making plays with it, get the first kill on the board, as Solar has done just there, taking down Cristola, then they could maybe start retaking this pit and put a little bit more pressure back onto the backs of Invictus.
2 players outside Fan, 2 players over on the side of Red. Jimbo, no idea where this one player is. Camo just patiently waits for a second, going to get away with his life. Finally, last shot comes out from Fragger, but only 1 kill, Harry. You mentioned about putting that camo to use. Only getting 1 kill out of that, not really doing much work. Grenade goes down, hoping Ramirez will pop through the window. Solar trying to stay alive. Catches Ramirez, gets the Duke, almost gets the kill, but Ramirez says not today, my little friend. Puts him down. Snipe drone off the respawn then, pushing on Fans with Cristola. He's got some support 2 on 2 in just a second. But we did see that one player there, Harry. He's all tanked up. A grenade came in, and now they're kind of cornered into blue. Fair enough. It's their base, but look at Invictus. They're pushing on this.
Yeah, and first kill going in their favor as well means 3 players are going to flood in. This is a real dangerous territory here for Supremacy. They kind of need to hang on until the next overshield comes up, in my opinion. And overshield is definitely what they need. Right now, the pit is not even remotely being contested by Supremacy, and SLG right here, not sure about that decision to push in by himself, especially while Snydrone has turbine control. He's always going to have the height advantage in that kind of period right there. So basically, Supremacy have around 1 push left. Fragger getting the first kill will help out, but he's traded off immediately. The next kill is going to be huge. Could even be game deciding, in my opinion. Solar taking down Ramirez, but again, it's traded off. So that, in my opinion, is going to be GG for Invictus. Very well played from them, despite being down very early in the game.
Awesome, awesome work from Invictus. Coming back from, I think it was at least a 50-point deficit against Supremacy. What a comeback. What an absolute comeback. Now, kind of rolling on when you look towards further on, Harry. That doesn't do wonders for your mindset. Kicking off game number 1 where you're well and truly in the driving seat, and that just kind of happened.
Yeah, that did kind of just happen. But we talk about mindset. These 2 teams actually scrimmed very recently, and the last time these 2 teams played this game type, Invictus won 100-27. So that's a lot closer than the last time round. So it depends if you're a glass half full or half empty kind of guy. Looking at the stats, Cristola, top slayer in the game, 20 kills from him. A lot of assists across the board. Very nice to see from both teams. But honestly, it was Cristola, just the standout performer right there in that game.
Let's take a look at some of the damage done and see exactly who's
it's
going
all
to be
pretty even, honestly. I mean, Snipe Drone obviously spoken about constantly in Europe as one of the highest damage dealers. He's the highest damage dealer in that game, and honestly, Cristola really stole the show, but Snipe Drone's certainly backing him up.
Especially with the 6.6 KDA. Punisher down at the bottom, though. Credit where credit's due, 7.0 KDA. 2.5k damage, as you mentioned. Everyone generally even across the board there, but I suppose We can look at that and read into it as much as we like, Harry. When it's 178 and you get kind of a little bit of a reversal, you got to be feeling good.
Oh yeah,
you got to be feeling good. Rock and roll.
That's momentum definitely in your favor. I mean, winning a game 1 in this series, especially a best of 7, is absolutely perfect for you because you're going to go forward knowing, hey, we can beat these guys. I mean, fair enough. It's only game 1. It's only one game type. These guys are beatable. We can win this series. So Invictus, yeah, it's going to do wonders for their confidence, but in my opinion, they didn't really need too much confidence being boosted. This is just going to reaffirm their authority on the league. I mean, obviously, we're still on match day 1. No, that's the first game played of the Pro League, but they really want to stamp their authority on this league, and that's a great way to do so, despite obviously almost losing that game, to come back and win it in the fashion that they did. That's going to, again, just kind of speak volumes around the league.
A little bit unlucky there for Supremacy, but still everything to play for. That's only map number 1. As they will fall 100 points to 78 against Invictus on Empire Strongholds. Game 2 then Truth Slayer. Now, I've got to say, I remember a certain European qualifier at Wembley seeing Supremacy on this map.
Yes.
And I remember what went down. These boys know how to play Truth.
They do. They do. And it's kind of... It's almost a little bit worrying for Invictus when you look back, like you said, at that Wembley event. What Supremacy did to infuse at that event on that game type, Solar especially with the Carbine, was a force to be reckoned with. But obviously, there is no Carbine on this map anymore. There are no rifles. It's just pure pistol gameplay. We have the tactical Magnum on bottom middle. We have the camouflage coming up every 2 minutes. But really, this again should be Invictus's game. The last time these two teams played this game type, they won 50-43 in a scrim. Again, it depends how much you guys really like to take into account scrim results. Obviously, they're only practice, but we'll start this one off with the top slayer from the last game, Chris Solo. We didn't really get to speak about him too much. The new man on the team, probably the least recognized name on this team as well as in this game, to be honest with you, but he really put on a show last time around.
You kind of mentioned it about some of the changes as well. We kind of called, he says that there's no Carbine this time around. There's no sword either, which is what those, especially Solo, was abusing in that certain match that we were speaking about versus Infuse. Cristola will fall at P2. So will Fragger as well. Jimbo comes in, grenades go down, no hit markers will be found. Creeping around, needs to get out of the death cave though, he goes down as well. People dropping left, right and center as they enter P2. But here comes the aggressive push from Supremacy. They take down 1, working together as a unit. I like that. Collapse in, call out the player, take him down 1 for 1.
The death cave.
The death cave.
I love that because
it seems to me
every single time I play this game in matchmaking, this map in matchmaking, I just get naded into oblivion. So I might have to use that going forward.
I mean, for many years, Harry, how you've played Halo 2, you played Halo 3, you always pre-nade P2, but now in Halo 5, you've obviously got the little LED lights above it. So you know when somebody's in there. If those lights are on, there's somebody in. Throw a nade in, try get a hit marker, push him out.
And of course, those nade hit markers certainly help out as well. Oh, Jim almost giving Punny the dipsy doodle, as our friend Strongside would like to say. Let's hop over to Ramirez's point of view. They're down by 3, still 3 at this point in time, but it's a game type at the moment that Supremacy definitely look comfortable on, and Ramirez can't quite make the kill happen, and I'm not surprised to see Solar let him know about that one. He really should have made that kill happen, and that could really be a turning point. I mean, we're around 30 seconds until the next camouflage comes up, so Solar right here is going to want to try and maintain this pink tower control, but it looks like he's going to try and flank in behind some of the Invictus members right here.
Yep, with no idea where he is. Saying that, the player has come round, unfortunately misses the jump, so Ramirez comes back for some vengeance. SLG, though, perfect killing the kill feed on Jimbo. We'll stick with Ramirez, obviously coming off of that spawn screen, looking onwards, up into the base, and all of a sudden, we just get a face full of blue outlines.
So that is actually a perfect play there from Ramirez, because the camouflage is coming up very soon. You can see Jimbo here gravitating towards pink 1. Ramirez might have challenged a little bit too early. He could have played that maybe a little bit sneakier and tried to catch some of the Supremacy players contesting that camouflage on the blue-pink side by surprise. But it looks like it's going to work out here for Invictus anyway, as Jimbo picks up the camouflage. So I like the idea from Ramirez. Went a little bit too early, maybe didn't have all the information readily available to him, but it looks like Jimbo's camouflage is going to be a non-factor in this game, so Invictus still down by 3.
Grenades coming in on Snipe Drone then, just going to play a little bit passive, get his shields back. Ramirez goes in, pushes out Punisher, which is fantastic work. Makes a little bit of room, gives Snipe Drone some breathing room. He's going to push on forward, misses a couple of shots, but does make the last one count. That's Solar and SLG both down for Supremacy. Now some great shots across map. Will he get the kill? Of course he will. It's Snipe Drone. That's going to be Fragger who drops also. But now SLG has got to deal with him off the spawn as Solar picks up a double straight off of that respawn, but he will get ended as well. Snipe Drone king of the castle at the moment, Harry.
My. Yeah,
look at this.
He is. And this is what we were talking about, man. Snipe Drone, his damage output is ridiculous, and you saw his aim right there. That cross-map shot from Pink 2 to Carbine 2, those are not easy shots to hit. You get barely any auto-aim, barely any aim assist right there, and he was still hitting every single shot, hit marker after hit marker. So delightful shots there from Snipe Drone, and once again, his flanking potential coming into effect there as well. Doesn't quite get the beat down, but he almost made the kill happen on SLG as well. Very impressed by Snipe Drone's gameplay so far.
It's worth a challenge. You know, if you're going to go down, you might as well have a crack at it. Worth a challenge. Try and get the beat down off. Jimbo on his POV now, moving through the bubble. Finds Fragger. Will Fragger get the kill? Yes, he will. Keep seeing Jimbo getting these perfects to the face, unfortunately. Little Jimmy getting a face full of lead. Punisher takes down Ramirez also, but Cristola answers back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 members dead still. The last 2 alive here. They're all going to be coming off the respawn. Punisher still hanging back, and we mentioned before, checking the numbers. Why push up if you've got no support? You're just going to die instantly. His teammates in P2 there. More than likely as the teammates, they're going to be pushing up on Carbine side.
So this team fight we're kind of seeing right here, we saw SLG up there in Pink 2. Now that's going to be contested by Snipe Drone, who's just been taken down. These 2 kills here actually from Supremacy, very important because the camouflage is coming up right now. They didn't get the last one. It was Jimbo who grabbed that, don't forget. But it looks like Punisher's actually in a great position to grab it, and there you go. So with a tight game, 32-32, and now the camouflage in the hands of Supremacy, you'd have to say the game's probably in their favor right now. If they can put this camouflage into good use, get Punisher flanking around, catch some players off guard, and make key kills happen right there, like he should have maybe on Jimbo. If Jimbo stays alive right here, that would be a great play from him, but he does go down. If Punisher puts this camouflage to good use, we could see Supremacy escalate into a lead.
Yep, totally. Just going to be trigger patient for a second. Holds back. Ramirez comes up, finishes off the kill. Easy one for him. Jimbo's going to roll in. Grenades coming there, so he now has the information. But it doesn't matter. SLG's there, gives him a crack to the face, takes him down. And now all of a sudden, we're going to see Invictus, 1, 2, 3 members all coming off spawn. Snipe Drone's holding back. You can see him kind of crouching back there. You're shaking your head there, Harry. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Punisher. I'm very surprised he escaped with his life, honestly. I mean, obviously the camouflage right there. We have the benefits of the player outlines, but we saw 3 players right there. If anything, Punisher really should just use that as an information play. He has the camouflage, he's out in the open, no one really knows he's there. If he just uses that for information and calls that out to his team, they could maybe be in a bit more of a lead, but they are still up by 3, so can't really be too critical from Punisher right there, but you have to say that could come back and bite them in the backside if Invictus come back in this game.
3-kill game, turned down to 2, 40-38, 6:20 remaining on the clock. We're seeing Supremacy in the lead, but they were in the lead previous. Now it's down to 1. Can we make it 0? No, we cannot. Back up to 2 as we see Solar coming in with the support Cristola. 1, 2, 3 members of Invictus. You can see them all on the player outlines, pushing in on Solar. He's left all on his own, needs some support, which he's going to get, but unfortunately, it's too late.
I'm not sure about both these teams fighting over at Carbine at the moment. It was Supremacy to grab the last camouflage, so they're going to know the time, but the fact that Invictus are pushing so aggressively here on the Carbine tower is a bit puzzling in my opinion. I'm not really too sure why they're doing that, but it looks like Supremacy haven't really made the most of that. Solar will go down in Pink 2, and Jimbo's in a great position to grab the next camouflage. They don't know the exact timing on it, but they have Supremacy locked in the base. And look now, with Jimbo with the camouflage, they have a 3-kill lead. Invictus look like they're in a prime position to take this game.
Yeah, this is rough. This is rough, man. Down goes 1, found out on his own, unfortunately. SLG will trade off with him, but now they only need 3 more kills. Supremacy, they need to bring this back by 6, 5:20 remaining. Plenty of time to do it, but, and you know, I suppose they do have P2 control, but really? Do Invictus have to push? Does that mean anything?
Well, I mean, you can see on the player outlines there, the play call, I'd imagine is from Ramirez, definitely the in-game leader, was let's get a tower as well as a base. They still have a player, yeah, crouched in the base right there, being very patient. That's Snipe Drone, but the push here from Supremacy, I'm not sure about that play from Invictus to go to Carbine. Now, as a result, they're actually locked at Carbine. They don't have a base. They have Punisher over there at Red pressuring them from there as well. He's just gone down, so yeah, I'm not too sure about that play call right there from Invictus. They only need 2 kills to win, but very risky, pushing out of the base and going to Carbine right there. Very puzzling.
2 more kills, all Invictus needs. We're just going to watch this one and let it play out itself. Cristola and Ramirez working together as a duo. Fragger's still up in P2, but no one's going to bother pushing, as you mentioned. Andy Ramirez, the shot caller grenade goes down. That's a cracking nade. Doesn't actually land any hit markers, which I'm surprised at. But Fragger, he's going to be allowed to put a lot of shots down. Cristola's no shield, gets 1. Nice POV. Unfortunately, though, the back whack comes in. Ramirez seals the deal and stamps the seal of approval on that match. 2-0 will be the score in favor of Invictus. Back-to-back comebacks.
Yeah,
back-to-back.
Yeah, again, some more kind of questionable decision-making from both teams in that game. I mean, especially Invictus playing so heavily around that Carbine Tower. Obviously, ultimately, it paid off in the end because they came out with the win. But yeah, a few strange decision-making happening in that game. We can see Sniper in there, 16-9, a great performance from him. Good shots being put down from Crustola and Jimbo as well. Ramirez with the -3, but I'd be willing to bet, honestly, his damage dealt was probably up there as well. A lot of assists on the side of Supremacy and no real standout bad performers apart from Fragger with a -6 spread. That's not too great. Taking a look at the damage dealt, and SLG with 3.3 thousand.
Every time we looked at him, though, he was just tagging people across the map and just pre-firing, getting the bullets in, getting the hit markers down, laying down the cover. And again, he's, for me, the shot caller of this team, so to be doing both of them at the same time. But unfortunately, you're not going to beat a stat line like that. When you've got Snipe Drone at the top just doing Snipe Drone things, I mean, there's a vicious rumor that Michael likes these settings. Just a vicious rumor.
It's a rumor.
Just a vicious rumor that he likes these settings. When you see him putting up them kind of stat lines, I just see Epsilon Snipe Drone all over again.
Yeah. I did lament the kind of decision-making from Invictus to leave the base, right, and go to the Carbine Tower. That was very puzzling, but I have to applaud them for their identifying of the situation and realizing they didn't have a base and pushing Punisher, who was alone at red. That was a very, very clever play, and it was good that they identified that, because if they don't push red right there, they're trapped in the bubbles. They're trapped in the Carbine Tower. They are trapped without a base, without a roof over their heads. So very smart play there from Invictus, kind of realizing their weakness. They left blue and didn't have a base. They identified that and went to red. Very smart from them.
I mean, that's always the harder thing, right, on Truth Slayer, especially when on a map like Truth, when you're downing kills, you have to do the work. You've got to push. The other team, like we kind of saw, and you mentioned it, a few dodgy players, but still, you've got to do the work. The other team can sit there and happily just open the floodgates as, if you want to give us a few more kills, boys, welcome to the pie. Yeah. Bring it on. We'll happily wait here and sit back. Unfortunately, very close game, though, and I think this is going to be the story of the entire summer season. Game number 3 about to come on your screen, guys. Coliseum CTF. Will we see a match just as close as the previous two? Honestly, I think we will, but there's a sniper rifle on this map, and there's two men who very much enjoy using it, and that would be SLG and Snipe Drone. This could be awesome. We could see some magic here. We've seen it happen plenty of times from SLG, especially on this map. He's a big fan. He
is a big fan of that weapon in particular, but the last time these two teams played in the online scrim, by the way, it was actually Invictus who won that scrim 9-4. They played this map. It was 3-1 in favor of Invictus, but Ramirez in a 5-minute game had just 2 kills. So watch out for him going forward. GPK. Just doing GPK things. Rockets in the hands of Solar. He's just gone down. Snipe Drone has the sniper. We could be in for a show.
1-on-1. Only 2 left. Excuse me. No, Ramirez is there. He's just creeping around in grass also. Grenade goes down. Indicate doesn't find any target whatsoever. The call comes out with some support. That's on SLG. Team captain goes down. No scope. Snapshot comes in. There's a double. So you can at least see the trade-off. We're getting one chase round from Solar. Punisher and Solar working together. They will take down Jim. And now, if they know where it is, which they do indeed, here's a sniper rifle time to do some work, Solar.
Yeah, the key, in my opinion, for Solar right here, in my opinion, is find Ramirez, because Ramirez right now has the rockets, and I believe he's actually behind the entire Supremacy team. So if they're not careful, even if they get the kills right here and start running the flag, Ramirez could be a real thorn in the side. So watch out for Ramirez. I'm not sure about this pull, in my opinion. It might just be a distraction play, which it is. Very clever from him, especially as he still has these rockets, but the timing just coming to bite him in the backside. Gets the trade just about, but with Solar being the last alive, very important he gets at least a kill right here to help his teammates off the respawn.
He knows where Jim is. He knows exactly where he is. Jim's going to come up aggressively, jumps up, goes for the no-scope. Unfortunately, Jim says, not today, my friend. SLG eliminated with rockets, so both power weapons taken out of Supremacy's hands just pretty much as soon as they get them, Harry. Fantastic work coming out of Invictus.
It is, again, really good work. I mean, how many times do we see on Coliseum the power weapons really dictating the storyline of the game? So very important that Invictus, again, like you said, taking the power weapons out of the hands of Supremacy. I mean, Invictus have been bossing this series so far. They've won both of the first 2 games. If they can keep taking the power weapons out of the hands of Supremacy like they're just about to again, that's really going to demoralize the French squad. And honestly, wouldn't be surprised to see this flag run actually be converted into a capture as Snipedrone's running the flag right to one of the Supremacy members.
Thankfully, Fragger's going to be there, though, to at least put a little bit of a pause. No, he's not. He's dead. I'm talking rubbish. Literally just got eliminated. So that flag's still going to carry on bouncing. Snipedrone. He's going to hit it home, and there you have it, Invictus. They are 1-0 up in just over 2.5 minutes of regular play. Ramirez, once again, Harry, you called him out earlier for being that flanky kind of player. He's back at it, and I think this is what he's needed. With the radar settings, we said before, he was struggling a little bit because we do know that Ramirez is kind of that old school player. That's actually disgusting.
Disgusting.
That's disgusting.
You've taken the word out of my mouth. This is honestly like going back to the old school days of playing against Ramirez. He does this type of stuff all the time. It's so frustrating to play against. If you can't lock him down and make sure you keep tabs on him constantly, he's going to do stuff like that all game. The good thing for Supremacy right here is the fact that the Invictus flag is actually out in the open and very baitable. So as long as they have a member on their own window baiting that flag and putting damage down, they could very easily have the opportunity to return this flag. The flag actually, they're touched again by SLG, but how has no one kept a tab on Ramirez? He's been here for around 5 minutes. This is crazy.
Yeah, we've literally sat on board with him and he's not moved. And there you have it. Pretty much all because of Ramirez that. Getting it across the map, getting the juke, throwing it up. He's defended it, Harry. He's literally defended it 4 times of people been trying to touch it. They've not eliminated the problem on the map. Andy Ramirez was the problem on the map. They didn't take him out, and now they're down 2-0.
Ramirez was the problem. That's insane. SLG with a sniper gives Supremacy somewhat of a lifeline, but they really need him to start firing soon. Rockets in 10, you hear the announcer saying that. Very important that Supremacy get those as well, but as we've seen so far in this game, Invictus getting the power weapons, that doesn't guarantee success for them because, like we've just seen, Supremacy are not good at hanging on to them once they get their hands on the power weapons.
No, unfortunately not. We're going to see Fragger get pushed into a corner. He's going to get killed at least with a grenade. Rockets are up. He goes down as he tries to advance onto them. Can Punisher get rockets? Maybe. They've got a sniper as well. No, he's not. Look, they just can't do anything. Invictus at the moment are just crushing them. Absolutely crushing them. They try to get something going and they just say, no, not today, boys. And kind of to touch back, Aaron, I know we're going a little bit randomly off topic, but Ramirez, we said in the past, he wasn't the kind of guy that I'd be putting up your big stats, your big statistics, your big numbers. But when it comes to objective, there is no player better.
Yeah, definitely not. There is no player better at objective game types, and there's no better shot caller, in my opinion. Definitely not in Europe. Absolutely not. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But very worrying here for Supremacy once again. Snipedrone with the rockets. If he stays alive right here, this is going to be just so important for Invictus, because even if Cristola doesn't get that double right there, Snipedrone still has the rockets. Fair enough. Oh, he still does get the trade. That's insane. I was going to say, even if he doesn't get that kill right there, he can still just kind of stay alive and make sure that his team just have a platform to push up from. But you can see right here, Invictus just rallying this flag back. Supremacy, they need kills, but look at the kill feed. This SLG right here needs to go huge. He's going for the recup, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen right here. He does actually have help, though, so this Rito might just come in.
Did you get it? No. Thankfully, SLG's there to at least save the day in game number 3. He's going to sniper on his back as well. Whether that's got ammo in it or not, I do not know. I'm going to say it's empty as Harry shakes his head. SLG creeping below. Snipedrone comes off the spawn over on elbow. So see you later, my friend. Get the hell out of my basement. 1-2 members you can see on the player outlines over on the corner just hanging about, being a nuisance. And now they're all kind of clubbed up towards this sniper area. But Snipedrone, he's just eliminating them.
Yeah, he is, and both power weapons just went into the hands, fresh power weapons might I add, of Invictus. So Jimbo with the rockets, you can see that in the kill feed, he's already taken down one. Very important that Cristola goes down right here. If you're a Supremacy fan, he almost gave me flashbacks to the full season right there. He does transition it over into the hands of SLG though, but we haven't seen too many extraordinary snipes like we've seen in the past from SLG so far in this game. So whether he's just still kind of adjusting to the heavy aim patch that came out yesterday, or whether it's just Invictus' suffocating pressure, we'll have to find that out at a later date. But so far, Invictus have been playing this so well. Cristola now with the sniper. This Honestly, I was going to say, if Supremacy can survive until the next cycle of power weapons and get them in their possession and keep them in their own possession for more than 10 seconds, then maybe they can fashion a comeback. But again, it's first kill almost every single time going in favor of Invictus.
I like the word that you use, suffocating, because that's what it feels like. There's just no room to breathe, and when you've got Jimbo...
He's just having a great time.
You know what, Superman YOLO, and then all of a sudden double kill comes out of Cristola. He's watching him for spawn. Someone's on the back of the table. That's going to be Solar. He's looking for his face. He knows he's there and finds it. Good night, my friend. See you later. Now the flag's moving. There's a double. Can he find this triple? It doesn't matter because the flag, he's done his damage. It's on his way. Parcel's about to get delivered. What a fantastic play from Cristola.
Yeah, Jim left.
Well, Jim, you just messed up my train of thought.
The amount of slays that came in from Invictus, it doesn't matter that Jimbo fumbled that flag. That's going to be game, so much so the Sniper is actually going to steal the flag from him. Take that, GPK, but jeez. Jimbo, your moves are weak.
But Dad, what about moves? What about moves?
Let's not do this.
No, let's not. No more
Let's not
memes.
do this.
Don't let your memes be dreams, guys. Here we go then. We'll take a look at the kill feed. Mr. Cristola, 24 and 11. Holy smokes. 13 and 20, unfortunately, coming out of Fragger. Not the best of statistics, fair enough. You know, it was an objective match, but when you're putting up those kind of stats and you're just dying repetitively, 10 and 17 also. I mean, the moral of the story is outslated, yeah? Fair enough, Jimbo with 13 and 17, but what does that really make a difference when you've got Snipe Drone 16, 16, and 11, 24 and 11 coming out of Cristola, and even Ramirez banging 13 assists on the board and going positive? Yeah,
I mean, the plays you don't see on the scoreboard right there obviously was Ramirez. That play he kind of made mid-game where he was just staying alive and just Supremacy had no idea where he was. Kind of a shame that Fragger's kind of making me eat my words right now. I said he was more of a consistent player here for the Supremacy squad. That's not been the case so far this series. Very lackluster performance in the last couple of games from him. Looking at the damage dealt, it's going to be Cristola up there with 2.9 thousand, but despite him having a lot more kills than Snipe Drone not that far behind, and Ramirez down there as well, just behind him. So a lot of damage being put down here from the Invictus squad.
So, question for you, Harry. Solar, 13 and 15, only -2, but 1.7k damage. Does that mean he's not putting enough shots onto his people and not, you know, kind of helping support his team? Can you read too much into that being, you know, at least 500 below anybody else?
I always lay into my teammates when they put that kind of stat down in Arena.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something for Solar to look back on. When he watches the rebroadcast back, maybe he could go back into game film and say, hey, could I maybe have put more shots down? Is the decision making and the routes that I'm taking, is that not allowing me to help my teammates out enough? Maybe. I mean, it might have just been a case of he was trying to make individual plays and put individual shots down and making sure he gets his own kills. That may have been the case. Maybe that's how Supremacy like to play that game type. But like I said, if a teammate's doing that to me in Team Arena, I'm getting mad. I'm sending messages. I'm blocking people. They're getting reported.
I'm raising fists. We're going for it.
I'm
We're
throwing
going in.
hands. I'll do it.
Well, you know what? We're talking as if this is over. It's not. We're in a best of 7. There's a game number 4, and it's going to be Eden Strongholds. And I have said this earlier on, but Eden Strongholds, this is the map, if I'm not mistaken, that Supremacy took off of Optic Gaming.
Yes.
And they also... Who else did they take this off of, which was big?
Fabi.
Yes, it was.
At Wembley.
It was indeed.
The first game of the Grand Finals.
So, if we had to read into history, and history would have it, Eden Strongholds should be a good map for Supremacy. They should be able to claim victory in this one.
Almost definitely, yes. I tend to agree with that. When you look at the last scrim, though, Snipe Drone went 23 and 9 on this map in a game that Invictus won 100 to 74. We talk about Supremacy, you know, taking games off Optic Gaming and taking the game off of the Fabi squad at the Wembley finals, but that was a different squad. This Invictus team obviously plays a lot different. You know, it's not going to be the same kind of story. Every single game of Halo is different. We're going to start this one off with Cristola. Red team definitely more favored to grab the overshield at the start. Blue team have to make a play on it with their grenades, but it doesn't look like anyone's actually extended here for Invictus. It's going to be Jimbo to pick up the overshield, although he just got taken out. He's not even picked it up yet. So despite Red team being favored to grab the overshield off the start on this map especially, it's going to be Punisher for the blue side of Supremacy to grab that one.
Oh my. Oh, wow. He's going to get the sticks. He'll get the cluster lock as well. Down they go.
He got a fastball as well.
Did he kill him with a grenade?
He killed him with a direct grenade.
Wow.
So he stuck a player, but they died before it exploded because,
off.
wow, that's crazy.
Well, there you go then. At least we know that the French, they know how to play hardball. So, rockets in the hands of... No, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. You know, it kind of works. I thought it did. That rocket was poor, to be fair.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That was an absolutely appalling rocket.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about my poor puns. We're going to talk about Solar trying to cap Red Nest. He's about to grab this one. Yes, he can. Going to move on now past Turbine. Rockets in the pocket. Looking onwards at blue. 1, 2, 3 members over on this blue side, Harry. So, you know, he's going in deep with the Rockets, I suppose. There's one player hovering around pit. That's going to be Ramirez. Rocket goes down, get that kill. Where does he want to be watching from here? What's the play after this?
Yeah, the question is from Solo, in my opinion, is surely he would have heard from a teammate that play was weak. Why waste the rocket on him? I mean, Ramirez doesn't even know that you're there. You have the height advantage on that player, and you also have the shield advantage. You have the health advantage. So why waste the rocket? I mean, fair enough, you want to make the kill guaranteed, but you could just whip out your pistol right there and get the kill and just back your individual skill. SLG not making the kill happen on Cristola right there. Yeah, a lot of shoulda, woulda, coulda so far in this game from Supremacy. Cristola will be taken down, so let's see what Snipe Drone can do. I said before the game started, he actually went 23-9 last time these two teams played. Fair enough, it was an online scrim, but you can see right here, he's continuing that performance. Clearly a fan of Eden Strongholds, and he's playing this to perfection at the moment. 10 minutes left in the game, Sims. That means Rockets just came up and the power-up, so just watch out for those. Well,
unfortunately, doesn't realise that Fragger's behind him, but he is dodging some bullets. Dodging, weaving, ducking, diving. Doesn't quite work out as his body hits the stairwell. One player comes down to challenge the guy waiting on OS. It's going to be Ramirez. SLG misses it, though, unfortunately. Goes back for it now. We'll punch that one in his chest. Here we go, then. Can Team Captain Norwin do some damage with this OS? He's going to tag up blue, 19-22. They can bring this one back, and that's exactly what they're going to do. How they'll do it, we'll soon find out. One goes down. That's 2, because Punisher, he's also got the rocket. So, pretty much power weapon control and everything else in the hands of Supremacy, Harry. This potentially could be a triple cap.
It most certainly could, and this is kind of the beauty of Eden Strongholds. Those rockets, camo, and overshield coming up every single 2 minutes means that this game type can definitely swing in one team's favor. Like you say, they stopped the Stronghold, and now the triple cap continues. More slays coming in here for Team Supremacy means they're going to continue control. Good patience there from Jimbo, staying alive, getting the first kill for his team, and now it's 2 slays in favor of Invictus. That's exactly how you break a triple.
I was a big fan of that player. Hold back for a second, then poke out when you needed, take down one, and all of a sudden he backed off. We then saw the bait coming from Cristola. 2 kills down. You called earlier, playing the numbers game. That's exactly how you do it, and all of a sudden Blue Bend, it's back in the hands of Invictus. But Punisher, laying the pressure on. If he gets this kill, it'd be pretty big. One player comes in. He has at least weakened him, so Ramirez, trying to stay alive, is going to get his shield back. Look at the light rifle. Bullet just flies past his face like something out of the Matrix. SLG with a double. So now they've got some map presence. Now they're making their presence known. They take him down as well. That's potentially a triple there for SLG. Maybe just a little bit too late, but 3 kills in a row. And the time is ticking along nicely, Harry.
It is in Supremacy's favor. That triple cap really helped them out, and that was pretty much all due to the fact they grabbed the overshield and the rockets. The rockets coming up in 1 second and they're on the map. The overshield comes up in around 10 seconds just after that. So look for whoever picks up the rockets. I think it's going to be an Invictus player. I'm not too sure yet though. Whoever grabs the rockets needs to transition over towards the pit. It's actually going to be Solar right here. SLG just grabbed himself the camouflage, so that's 1 out of the 3, 2 out of the big 3 actually in favor of Supremacy. They just need the overshield in their control and they will have all 3 of the main power-ups and power weapons on the map.
The reload, unfortunately, not quick enough there. Jimbo will scoop the rockets up. 2 in the chamber. Looking for anyone advancing down on OS. Doesn't happen. He's going to pick that up, and that's a very nasty combo.
It is, because Jimbo now has the rockets and the overshield, and don't forget, last time Supremacy had this combo, they got a triple cap. Let's see if Invictus can actually kind of do the same thing to the Supremacy squad.
I think the worst thing about that is, as you can kind of see now,
just
cheeky.
Just about stayed alive right there. I thought the stick might have killed him because he was quite low health, and if that was the case, they could have maybe just prevented this triple, but once again, it's the overshield and the rockets really being the big factor here on Eden Strongholds, just putting a triple into effect.
I like the fact that because of, rather than running in there to get the kills, you know, usually you can't stand your ground. You're going to have players running at you, taking down your shield, taking you out, but it's kind of like being the bouncer of Blue Bend. He's just sat there, and when people are running towards him, they're easy kills for him, but more importantly, they can't get in the hill. Even if he doesn't kill them, he's just keeping Blue Bend, and all of a sudden, that big lead that Supremacy had Flashbacks in game 1, Harry.
It's perfectly played there from Invictus. That's just perfect counter play. I mean, Supremacy got the first kill right there on the player inside red. When you want to take red nest, the number one kill you want is the player that's either playing red window or inside of red. They got that first kill. What do Invictus do to reply? They push all the way around to blue cat and go behind them to grab blue bend. So Supremacy have a choice to make. Do they commit to red nest and potentially get naded out, or do they turn around and try and contest blue bend? In the end, they kind of did both, and now look, a triple still in the favor of Invictus. And Snipe Drone coming in with the back smack. That's 2 in a row
double.
Actually there. The Snipe Drone almost making it 3, and he does. The overkill's inside of blue bend. Don't think he'll grab it, but wow, that's an unfortunate spawn behind him though. He's not looked at his radar, and it looks like a Supremacy player might just be able to grab the rockets as a result.
How's he alive? Thankfully, you know what, right there, that triple kill for me has just sealed the deal. You saw how many players of Supremacy were taking plots at one point. They were on the verge of flipping that triple cap and taking 2 themselves and putting themselves potentially back in the lead before he even touches it. Literally before he even touches it, Ramirez fires a rocket down. There's a free firework. He will fall. Supremacy, will they get this OS? Yes, they will. Battle going on, one-on-one with Jimbo down in pit. He's looking for the ninja. Doesn't quite happen. Another player there as well. It's going to be Cristola. He gets away with his life. But I tell you what, boys, that is game, set, and match. Invictus, they 4-0 Supremacy, match 1, day 1 of the EU summer season.
The question, are Invictus for real? The 4-0. I think they're pretty for real.
When you 4-0 in a team that hasn't split up, is LAN proven, is game proven. We know these guys, they made the top 4 last time to make it to the 4-season finals. They came second at Gfinity. They took a game off Optic at Worlds. I think, you know, it's now confirmed. For me, fair enough, you've got Infuse lingering there, but Invictus is this EU's best team. Well,
you know what's so impressive about that performance? Supremacy actually outslayed the Invictus squad. I think that's what's most impressive about that performance, in my opinion. We saw, obviously, the total control in favor of Supremacy in the early game. Thanks to that Overshield and Rocket kind of combo, it didn't make a difference. They got a load of kills out of it, but not enough points on the board. And Invictus said, hey, you know what? You can slay us all you want, lads. We're just going to get those points, and they made it count. Looking at the damage dealt, Cristola, once again, one of the standout performers in the game. Just about getting the most damage in the game. SLG just behind him, but once again, Solar not putting out the most damage as we'd expect him to.
I mean, there's 2 things that I've kind of taken from that series, Harry. One being Invictus, they just seem so well-rounded. Slaying department, objective department, teamwork department, everything just kind of looks there. When we were looking at all the variations of what was going on between the games, fair enough, you'd have someone go negative like Rami, but then all of a sudden you just see 3 flags in his back pocket. Yep. It's just kind of how they work. So everything feels really well-rounded about this. But the other takeaway from it is, fair enough, it was a 4-0, but it was a close 4-0.
Yeah.
It wasn't it's a whitewash when you look at, you know, at the score at the top. But honestly, it still could have gone either way.
Yeah, it could have. One thing I actually want to bring up right there is we kind of look back on the moments of the series. It was actually Supremacy who had double the power weapon kills in that previous game. So that honestly leads me to believe the fact that despite Invictus, you know, they got the odd Overshield and Rocket combo, it was the decision-making in that game that really won them that game. The key points, like I pointed out, when Supremacy got that first kill over at Red and Invictus somehow came behind them and still stole a triple cap away from them. Those kind of moments are very, very rare, and in my opinion, most of those are attributed to Ramirez. It'll be interesting to see in the post-game interview. You know, I'll have to ask one of the Invictus players, was that the case? Was Ramirez really the deciding factor in that Eden Strongholds game? Because Supremacy, they put more power weapon kills on the board, but they still didn't come out with the win.
This is actually literally balls at his face. I didn't even cop for it at first. I'm glad you mentioned it, then I saw it afterwards. But I'm hoping we get the triple kill. I mean, this is some key pointers you mentioned before. Jim just abusing the OS, pushing them back and making sure that they stay there and duck, advance on. But the triple kill, and it's right, that's it in fact, right there. Gets 1, gets 2, finds the 3rd, and literally on the cusp. There was just there. They almost turned that one back around, and all of a sudden Snipe Drone just comes in and says, sorry boys.
There was
not having it.
Another almost play there from Supremacy in that replay as well. The moment where Jimbo had the Overshield and he was stuck in the blue bend. if Jimbo dies right there to that sticky grenade, maybe a little bit more damage is put on Jimbo right there, then Supremacy, they stop the triple, they stop the hemorrhaging of a load of points that went in Invictus' favor, and maybe they can come back in that game with a few key decisions.